Hi, and welcome to Beyond the Lines, a podcast where we cover architecture's evolution throughout time, how buildings have the ability to speak to us, evoke strong emotions, and reflect our evolving world. I'm your host, and today it's about time I talk about the most playful architectural movement, postmodernism, when architects realized that people aren't robots, that we have imagination, empathy, and expressions. So let's begin. Let us ask this question. What happens when architects stop designing for machines and start designing for people with feelings, stories, and dreams? Postmodernism emerged in the 1960s and 70s as a reaction against the austerity and simplicity in functional design approach to modernism. Modernists believed that form followed function, that buildings should be simple, efficient, and void of decoration that was unnecessary. Postmodernists were not a fan of this movement. They brought back architecture that embraced history and community through witty, symbolic, and expressive designs. It reinforced ornamentation, color, decoration, and design scaled to human interactions. Architecture was now relatable and expressive. The cool thing about these buildings is that they could be read in many ways. Modernists saw buildings as stories that were able to express humor, sarcasm, and emotion. In Tokyo, there's the M2 building by Kiko Kuma, where historical references such as the classical column are blended with the contemporary elements of steel and glass to evoke humor and curiosity. It asked, why can't buildings... This architectural movement of postmodernism asked, why can't buildings feature binoculars or eyes? It didn't shy away from being bold either. So let's dive into the context. After World War II, the world was built rapidly, and modernism, with its practical and efficient architectural style, offered a sensible solution. It worked for the most part, but by the 1960s, people noticed the modernist architectural style was isolating. The boring concrete towers were efficient, but sad. They desired buildings where they could see people and not robots living. Buildings that provided comfort or a sense of belonging. This frustration prompted postmodernism. Architects weren't afraid to say goodbye to the strict rules set by early modernists, who forgot about human comfort, aesthetics, and social dimensions. Is it possible for architects to evoke a feeling of familiarity? Let's look at the Portland Public Services building, designed by Michael Graves in 1982. It was quite controversial at its time. It was bold, with colors such as turquoise and terracotta, and garlands throughout. It was a rebellion, and many people questioned if it went too far. But that is the point of postmodernism. Graves was trying to bring back the visual aspects of architecture. He was trying to reflect the city of Portland. But is it possible for an office building to evoke joy or even make us smile? Maybe. Graves is famous for stating good designs should be accessible to all. Postmodernism may seem dated, but is still present today. It allowed architects to design whatever they wanted without rules. Their designs could reflect culture, identity, and humor, not just functionality. This movement reminds us that architecture doesn't have to be serious. We can build whatever we desire with limited colors, materials, shapes, and sizes. We don't have to color in the lines. We can be expressive. We can be bold. We can design spaces that aren't just adaptable to our evolving lives, but reflective of feelings, identity, imaginations. The legacy of postmodernism is that it allowed architects to be creative. Thank you for listening to Beyond the Lines. Postmodernism taught us that architecture isn't just the walls and roof. It's the emotions and cultures around them. We are reminded through postmodernism that buildings can be expressive emotions, that buildings can express emotions and be made for humans. So let me leave you with a task. Reflect on a time you felt happy and design a structure that reflects your emotions. Till next time.